Welcome back, people. It is episode 16 of season 5 of the Taxi Squad podcast. Before we get into this whole shindig, please air it out. 312-725-2107. We got strange and unusual topics about women with bags and boobs. We do have Masters talk and college football talk potentially being back. We got some NBA play-in talk, Major League Baseball, Juan Soto back in the news, and then the episode you've all been waiting for. The Taxi Squad Mock Draft. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. We talk about sports and stupid stuff. We're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back. It's the Taxi Squad. Yeah.
Vince, I'm counting down the days, cuz I'm counting down the days.
Yeah, man. 1 week from now.
Friends, it's happening. It's happening.
When next week's episode is posted, I will be en route to beautiful, sunny, hot Arizona with you, my friend.
It's going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect. It's not even going to be hot, Vince. I'm tracking the weather.
Hot for me.
Perfect. It's going to be 82.
I know, that's hot for me. I haven't felt 82 in weeks.
Okay. You complaining? What's the temperature there today?
All right, you're getting very defensive.
What's the temperature there today?
Don't get defensive. I was just saying, am I not allowed to express my feelings at the same time? It doesn't matter what the temperature is here. I'm just saying, you
sound like fucking Muriel Roth before vacation.
Get out of here.
Oh God. I've been in Chicago.
You read that wrong.
Beginning of October.
No, I went to Cabo San Lucas 3 weeks ago.
Can you believe
it was 90 degrees.
It's going to be above 80 degrees in the desert.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going. I quit. I'm off the pod.
Quitting. Fuck this shit. I'm out.
Shit sucks. No, I'm looking forward to it, Mike. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of whimsy. We're going to watch the NFL draft.
It'll be great.
It's going to be so much to be thankful for, my friend. All right.
A lot to be thankful for. We may have a surprise for the listening group here.
The people.
Check it out. Check us
out. For lay people. Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to be dope.
Specifically geared to the baseball fans. But good, man.
Facts.
I'm happy your day's going swell.
Yeah.
I've had a great day. Realized I was off today, Vince. It's fucking awesome. I'm off on Friday. I didn't even realize it.
Sounds like a good Friday.
It's good.
Oh,
yeah. But in corporate America, they can't call it Good Friday because people are sensitive.
Jesus.
So they call it just like
Friday,
some like spring holiday. It's like, okay, really? This is what we're doing now?
I've never heard of that in my corporate experience. So maybe that's just you guys.
Yeah, they call it spring holiday.
Hey, I have an idea. This year on the Taxi Squad podcast, we are going to take Friday off.
I mean, good to know we don't record on Fridays.
Yeah.
Or drop.
Well, I'm just saying in general, as our company continues to grow, we are making the decision right now that we're not going to work Good Friday off. And we're also calling it Christmas, and we get off Christopher Columbus Day. It's an anti-alien discrimination. Oh!
In this house, fucking Christopher Columbus is a hero. End the story.
End the story.
All right.
But you guys have a good Easter. Have a good Easter. Let's talk about sports.
Happy Easter. He has risen. Hide the eggs. Okay. So one thing that can't be hidden right now, Vince, is the fact that the White Sox are dog shit. They're playing against a team that is also dog shit.
Yes.
And what could be taken from this is that there is, in fact, a lot of dog shit. So let's add some more shit to the top of the heap.
Sure.
So in this strange and unusual topic of the week, we do have actually multiple, but the first one is a guy by the name of Greg Jones. I couldn't spot this guy out of a lineup, but he's clearly on the White Sox because who the fuck are these guys, right? He was claimed off waivers off the Rockies, correct? Yeah. Is this true? Okay.
This is true, so Michael.
Claimed off waivers. He wears these big Coke bottle glasses. You can't take the guy seriously.
He's just protecting his eyes.
He comes up to the plate with his elbow protector on.
Yes.
And Unfortunately, not the logo of the team he plays for.
It's the Rockies. This is classic White Sox. Like, they should have extra elbow guards. My only thing would be like maybe it's a specialized one that only he uses, and they don't have that. I got sent this a couple times, mostly from the Cubs fans / White Sox haters in my life. And then I did some deep research on Reddit.com, where you can find anything, for good or for bad. I guess this happens kind of often, frequently in a lot of sports.
Really?
Carlos Beltran was traded to the Giants in 2011, and he wore his Mets cleats for a week because they didn't have his cleats yet that he wears. Spencer Knight, remember when the Blackhawks got him this year? They made a trade. They got rid of Seth Jones. Spencer Knight comes in. He didn't have a mask. He ended up wearing his Panthers mask for the first couple games until he got a Blackhawks mask. So, as bad as this looks, it's not the first nor the last time this will happen. But also just get elbow guards. Why don't we have elbow guards for the guys? What are we doing?
Well, not every guy wants to wear an elbow guard. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, if you want to, we should have them for him. Like, we should have extras somewhere.
I bet you he had his, right? Because he liked his, because, chances are they just didn't switch the stickers out. I mean, that's all these things are. It's like they're stickers. It's not like they're branded specifically for the Rockies or the White Sox.
Maybe he snuck it into the game, not thinking anybody was going to notice it.
Yeah, maybe he did that. And then, Greg?
What are you doing, Greg?
You went from one shitty team to another. Why are you bringing this bad juju over here, Greg?
That is a bad move going from the Rockies.
Why are you wearing these glasses, Greg, where you could see from the fucking moon?
I understand why he got called up. He was hitting
those glasses.
He was hitting a red hot 129 in the first 9 games with the Charlotte Knights. So bring him up. He's going to do good for us. He's going to be good. In other White Sox news, they did DFA Clevenger today.
Oh, he was here for another cup of coffee.
Forgot he existed.
Yeah, I watched him pitch in spring training for like an inning, and he's horrible.
Yeah, remember when he got in trouble during COVID when he's on the Cleveland Guardians?
Allegedly, it was he got it dropped, but allegedly there was a domestic dispute there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Bad. Yeah, we talked about that.
Bad.
Difficult to root for that guy, right?
You want to know who's fun to root for?
Who?
Orlando Magic fans.
I mean, they're pretty good.
Listen,
they're pretty good right now. They just won last night against the Hawks, right?
Pretty good is the way to say it, yeah. So the NBA play-in is going on right now, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Magic ended up winning the game, and a Magic fan with, let's just say she's well endowed. Is that the way that you should say it?
She has delightful memories.
Yes. She was caught behind the bench on live television shaking a small white bag of an unknown substance. We all know what it was.
It was Vince, it was pre-workout. She was getting it ready.
It's not a lot of pre-workout. I guess a little bit goes a long way. Or that type of pre-workout might work well for you. It looks like something you would put in your nose. So to that, I ask you, nose clamps at Harry Potter World, ?
I mean, yeah.
Going to Gringotts Bank, grinding your teeth?
Could be. Could be like those gym influencers that wear those things that try and actually open up the nose,
Oh, yeah.
There's like a magnet on them.
She was trying to clog hers.
She was just trying to open them up and then,
this is a thing
she needed, right?
I would expect this to happen south of Orlando.
Well, I mean, Vince, it's
everywhere, I suppose.
These young ladies are out here doing this stuff, looking for, a future husband sitting behind the bench. They need a little pick-me-up sometimes. Not saying that's
worked.
What it is. Allegedly, that's what it is.
She was America's favorite basketball fan yesterday, that's for sure.
She was. A
lot of people. And the thing is you couldn't see her face, so it was like the perfect thing. Like, no one knows it's her if they know her, but she could be like, oh, that was me. I got caught red-handed with a bag of cocaine.
I mean, who's to say it was that, Vince? Mate, like I said, maybe.
Dude, it was 100%. No, it was.
You think it truly was the cocaine?
Yeah, dude, for sure.
I mean,
who carries white powder in a small bag like that and shakes it around?
My favorite thing on Instagram is when it pops up And every now and again, it's like a girl, she takes like a family photo and she forgot she had her little Coke baggie and it's stuck to the back of her phone. And the picture's taken in the mirror and like you see the little bag and her face is like,
dude, if you're on a family trip, what are you doing? Put that away.
Yeah.
What are you
doing?
On
a family trip and you got a bag, probably.
You might have a problem. You may have a problem.
Either way, if you're doing that stuff, you may have a scotch of an issue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I mean, I guess I can kind of see it if you're trying to party after an Orlando Magic technical playoff win. Fits.
Yeah. I mean, in my eyes, just take Adderall.
In my eyes. Yeah, the legal version. Yeah. But you are an old man. So.
Hey, if you do want to lose weight quickly, get an Adderall prescription. There you have it.
Yeah. It'll cut your hunger. For sure.
It will cut your hunger, will also curb your appetite, and you will be so much more productive at work. I can promise you that much.
Wow, no side effects. Everybody do Adderall.
Everybody do it. It doesn't make you anxious or feel like you're, on a whole other planet at all.
It's 100% a good idea every single time.
She won last night. The Magic won last night, Vince, but she also won last night.
Correctamundo. She was just trying to see Trey Jones. Excuse me, Trey Young, and say, hey, come over here and get some of this Harry Potter loving. Get some of this Epcot loving.
Get some of this Orlando Magic.
Yeah. You want to, Orlando Magic. In sadder news, Kyron Lacey, who very, very talented football player. I watched a lot of LSU this year and sparing times. Garrett Nussmeier throwing the ball to Kyron Lacey. Beautiful connection. Previously projected as a high draft pick. Plummeted stock because he got charged with negligent homicide. He was speeding and ran into a car with an old man who ended up dying. And alas, he was found on suspected suicide this week. So not happy.
Not a fun, strange, and unusual.
The other ones were more fun.
We prefer to bring you the fun ones.
Correct.
But we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it. But yeah, very sad story, not only for the family of this young man, Kyron Lacey, who was an emerging potential NFL star. He
was going to be good, yeah.
He was going to be real good and just had a lot of off the field issues. And you feel for his family and friends, but then again, you also feel for the family and friends of the grandfather who will most likely, his grandkids will never see him again. So that's also
that's sad on that.
And, I don't know what it is with the SEC and this reckless driving, but I feel like the SEC should make
You mean Georgia and one LSU guy?
Well, I mean, Georgia's the king of reckless driving.
Certainly.
It's like kind of a rite of passage when you're getting recruited there. It's like, how many tickets do you have in the past month? Oh, you got 7 speeding tickets. You're on.
Give it to me. You're fine here. Kirby says it's okay.
Yeah, but this is now the second player working under Brian Kelly at LSU or under Brian Kelly's tutelage at LSU.
Yeah.
That has had just horrible advice and missteps. And almost you might be able to even say negligence.
Some would argue that Brian Kelly is the worst, and I would agree with them. For sure.
He's not very good. And I mean, it was easy to coach kids up in South Bend, Indiana, who are all kind of semi-Bible thumpery and all have lived in
that, or at the least, blue and good grades.
Gold,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you get to the SEC, it's a different landscape.
Yeah,
and I don't think he's been prepared for that. I mean, he had a player that, what was it, a year and a half ago, is now had a surgery gone wrong after a concussion, and basically he's a paraplegic now.
Yes,
and he forgot about that. He was supposed to be a top draft recruit, and then now you have Kyron Lacey. It's almost like Brian Kelly, maybe just go away.
He did have some issues in Notre Dame too in his tenure as well that he covered up. So,
I mean, what news. Though? What, Manti Te'o?
No, practice. Remember that whole story where the practice was way too hard and a kid almost died, and then
oh yeah,
that was a whole thing too. Or the kid did die.
No, I don't think he died.
He got close.
He got close. We kind of grew up in the era where, like, in the NFL, like, remember there was like an offensive lineman on the Vikings that died at practice due to heat stroke or something.
I mean, remember the Greg Williams bounty gate with Sean Payton? That was a whole thing too. There was like, take his head off and I'll give you $1 million. Like, Jesus Christ.
No, there was video of Greg Williams, not a great guy, in the locker room at the Super Bowl saying, if we hit this guy at this angle, at this right leg, that ACL will pop and like all this shit. Like, yeah, I mean, granted, they still probably do that today.
He was also the all-out blitz king of the world. So
yeah, that guy sent the noise.
Something like it. But yeah, so Kyron Lacy, sad.
Yeah. Sad. I mean, just what I still can't fail to wrap my mind around is these kids are given so many resources to be successful.
Oh, yeah.
The same thing in the NFL. It's like driving, your car drunk or semi-intoxicated or whatever that might be.
Yeah.
And you make $1 million. Like, plus.
Look, man, there's a lot of
have a car drive you anywhere.
There's a lot of people, and some people are just going to be idiots. And some people aren't. A lot of people aren't getting in trouble, and then some of the special ones get news stories written about them for being idiots.
Hey, and every bushel in apples, Vince, there is usually one, in fact, shit apple. Correct.
And, that's the one apple that turns the rest of the batch bad. What's the term for that whole thing? It's like one rotten something turns the rest of the batch.
I just go off of Jim Leahy. The shit winds are blown, and when the shit winds are blown, they pick up shit seeds, and shit seeds grow shit trees, and shit apples grow off the shit trees.
He's not the most prophetic man in the world.
One shit apple creates more shit apples.
That's true. I mean, it's true, but manure is good for growing plants. So I digress.
You hear that? You hear that? Winds of shit,
Mr. Leahy.
The shit winds are blowing. But before we get into anything else, don't forget to follow, subscribe, and like it.
Do it.
And if you have a profound statement to make that you would like us to know, being the Taxi Squad podcast, feel free to air it out. 312-725-2107. We talk about a lot of things each week, and we'd love to get your feedback on that.
Please.
Okay. More college football talk. It's back. Not necessarily, but spring games are starting. You could smell it. It's like the spring is here. We want the summer. You want to be in the middle of all of it. You want to enjoy your summer. But then again, you still can't wait for those later days in August where college football is about to kick off. And right now,
it's the beginning of the football calendar right now. The next week and a half, 2 weeks.
It's getting there. And I'm excited. I think we're all a little excited.
Yeah.
Who's not so excited is Nico Amaliava, who we may have touched on it last week, but he's out at Tennessee due to Josh Heupel saying, pack your shit, get out, due to a dispute in contract of NIL money, which his father, doing more investigative research, does represent him. He does not have a full-blown agent.
Right.
And they wanted an extra $800,000 in his NIL deal, and Tennessee said, get lost.
Yeah.
Vince, your thoughts on this?
I mean, so he was the boy wonder coming in last year, right? Or 2 years? It was last year. Because they had Joe Milton with the cannon starting over him. He was supposed to be better than he was this year. That's for sure. Like when he started, it was like, oh, he's actually not like the next thing since Jesus. But he did feel like he was, hence wanting more money. It was probably like a year-by-year contract. Like the next year that you're here, you get more money, and they disagreed on what that amount was. I am not really sure what that would have been, but I do think once you can start demanding money, like this shit's going to start happening more often. That's just how it works.
Well, allegedly, you're only required to play the 12 regular season games. There is many reports coming out stating that there have been more than one NCAA player on the NIL program that was threatening that they wouldn't play in the playoffs unless they got more NIL funds. We're trying to use that as almost like a bargaining
leverage.
to play in the playoffs to say, oh, you want me in the playoffs? You need to pay me more money.
I mean, there's another level to that too. It's like, how is that going to look on your personal brand too? Like, the teams are going to go to the playoffs more or less. So if you're like, oh, well, I only signed for 12 games. Like, if you go to the NFL, it's going to be like, oh, I only getting paid for this much time. Like, contract structure would probably help. Once the schools are literally allowed to just pay players, I think this might help a little bit too. But it's like, depends on how you want people to see you. If you're like, I'm entitled to this money and then go get that money, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that people need to just respect you because you did it,
Well, allegedly, this is all perpetuated by the representation of Nico Amali.
Oh, for sure. Oh, that's always going to be the case.
And that's what I truly feel to be a huge problem of your family representing you.
Yeah.
This is something that, he wants to maybe he's just an inflated ego and he could care less about the team.
Sure, it's probably both.
I could imagine it being some balance of both, but he is one of these guys, allegedly, that did say, well, if you don't pay me more, then I won't play, and use it as bargaining chip. They say, why don't we get through the playoffs? And let's face it, Tennessee, if you're a good quarterback looking for a change or even great in NCAA football, you would definitely want to play there. Think of the structure, the money, the tradition, the booster program, all of it.
You have opportunity to win at least a little bit there. Like, go do it.
Yeah, now you look at this. What is this Nico Amaliava? Where is he going to play? That's the next question.
He could be doing like a DJ Ugalugale, like problem mission in NCAA where he just keeps getting a little bit worse every year.
That's what it feels like.
Because again, like he came in this year and it was like he's going to finally be able to start and he's going to just dominate everything. And he just didn't do that. He was making young person mistakes, which are expected. But it's not like he got much better throughout the year. Like I remember him coming in. I'm like, dude, Tennessee's going to be like top 10. And then it was like, they were teetering around it the whole time. And it was kind of just like, just didn't work out for him this year.
They pumped OU.
Yeah.
Right. Beyond that, they beat.
But they pumped OU. It's like OU wasn't necessarily a powerhouse this year.
Not saying they were a powerhouse. They were the furthest thing from it. And Jackson Arnold was not him. Then again, you look at this. I mean, let's face it. Jackson Arnold's going to Auburn. He's not the greatest. But you look at this now and you say, okay, you beat OU. You beat Bama at home. But beyond that, what did you do?
Correct.
He had a lot of peaks and valleys in his performance. So for you to come out here and say you're the shit when you're not Caleb Williams.
You're not even a fart.
That guy. Yeah. You think
you're the shit? You're not even the fart.
You're not even the fart, as one young lady so eloquently
Ice
put
Spice.
It. I love that we're quoting that.
Yeah.
With all of this, Vince, where does he end up? Who wants this guy?
Probably a lot of programs. So how much does he want? That's the thing. Like what team really needs him?
His deal was $2.8 million.
Right.
He wanted to be at 4, I believe, or 4.2.
How many teams are going to give out $4 million to a guy?
He's saying I'm the best quarterback prospect in all college football.
Prospect, yeah. But prove it.
Right.
No one's giving him $4 million.
Well, there's more to this. So after doing more homework, they were, before the playoff, reaching out to the Oregon Ducks and Dan Lanning and seeing if they could get more money because they kind of know that Oregon has this infinite bag of funds due to Nike and Phil Knight. And then Dan Lanning called Josh Heupel and was like, hey, this is what's going on. Get your boy in check. And then after all this comes, so a lot of this is perpetuated by
I'm sure coaches are with each other on this. They're like, if you're going to try to fuck them on the other end, I'm going to fuck you too. What are you doing?
And that's the problem with these kids just thinking you could just call up anybody to say, oh, hey, once again, proper representation. But Oregon, we know Oregon's out on him. Now more reports are coming out. You thought maybe North Carolina or, where
he's out there. They're not doing that.
He's out. Okay, what other landing spots? You maybe look at USC, but they seem to have figured out their guy.
Probably, yeah. And if they're willing to shell out that money. I was thinking about teams that have that much money to spend. Like Penn State's not going to spend that money. Notre Dame won't spend that money. Georgia, maybe. Alabama, maybe. But
Notre Dame has a list of top quarterback prospects waiting in the wings.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So if you're looking at like the best teams last year, you're not going to get one. Ole Miss, they're going to give away $4 million for a quarterback. I don't know about all that.
I don't think the Lane train's dishing that out. I think he's already got his succession plan.
Yeah.
And some people were saying maybe like Tulane, but Tulane can't do that.
They're not giving that much money.
AAC, right?
Yeah.
So where does this guy end up? Did he potentially just totally fuck himself? I feel like he did. I feel like his dad and him worked together to completely just shoot themselves in the proverbial foot.
I mean, I'm not rooting for him to destroy his career, but like it would be probably a good example of like you can only push the ball so far where it eventually is going to stop. Like at some point, no one's going to watch you. And then you're going to have to go back on your amount. And then you might get signed for less. It's the same idea as like Dennis Schroeder, like not taking that Lakers deal and then betting on himself and getting like a quarter of what he was supposed to get. Maybe that's going to happen to him here.
Sometimes in life, betting on yourself, this isn't the correct way of doing it. You had a great deal, but you got greedy. And this is a nice little indicator of what could happen when you get greedy. And let's just say that he does fizzle out and he's the next DJ Ugle.
Yeah.
When you want to potentially get drafted, let's say you come back, you have a great year for a lower level team, and he can't play in the SEC anymore due to transfer bylaws. You can't transfer within the same division. They don't allow that anymore.
Really?
Yes, you cannot transfer within the state.
I thought they opened it for everybody.
No, so you cannot stay within the same division if you transfer in the same year.
Interesting.
So this is a lot of things that the NCAA is cracking down on.
Oh, yeah. So like, where is he going to go?
He can only play in the Big Ten and the ACC or any other conference outside
Wisconsin,
of that.
Illinois. Like that's none of those teams are going to spend that money.
No, I don't think so.
Go to Maryland. What if he goes to Maryland and then ends up at Florida State and does the DJ path?
The DJ path would be hysterical.
Instead of Clemson, it's Tennessee. Yeah, man, you can only push it so far. Like you have to, if he was like Caleb Williams in his first year when he went absolutely ape shit and then transferred, that's a different conversation. But he didn't play that well last year to, merit that much money being spent on him. So, hey, good luck, man, but I don't know about all that.
So where does he go? Some people are saying UCLA is fast on the tracks, but they're not going to be able to pay him what Tennessee paid him because they don't have the infinite bag. And think about this.
Big Ten split. Big Ten was good this year.
True, but let's also think about this. You leave Tennessee, a state that has 0 state income tax.
Correct.
Now, if you go play in California, what is it, 16% at the highest in the nation?
Yeah, something like
so if you're going to make $1 million, they're going to take 16% of that, so $160,000.
Yeah,
of that just gone to the state of California. Man,
go ahead,
this kid. And then one day comes, he's going to get drafted. How do you explain this?
Yeah, my daddy did it to me.
Daddy, I don't want to play at Tennessee anymore.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. He's got some growing up to do, but he's still like 19, 20. So.
I mean, you pray for him. You pray for him, right?
He's like my family.
I don't think my family, I don't think it's going to end well for him. Yeah. But I think he winds up at a lesser school. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, he may ball out, but then again, you balled out at a lesser program.
Can I speak to our favorite linebackers kid really quick and tell him how much he hurt my feelings?
What happened, Vince?
Kennedy Urlacher, safety of Notre Dame, backup last year, maybe would be a starter this year because a lot of our defensive backs went away. But he's transferring too. He's a big safety.
He's in the portal.
He's a good safety. He is a Kyle Hamilton archetype. He's his dad's archetype. He would be the size of a linebacker in the NFL probably. And he's transferring. So you're dead to me. He's dead to me. He's done.
What if he walks in dad's footsteps and New Mexico State just comes out and offers him a fucking bag?
Go ahead. He might play well.
I mean, who wants to live in New Mexico though? I've stated many times on this podcast.
Indiana's not easy either.
Yeah, but at least you're close to Chicago.
And you
could get to Chicago in an afternoon, right? And you get a very high class education. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. New Mexico is not as good as Notre Dame as far as education is concerned.
There is nothing redeeming about Albuquerque,
Santa
by the way.
Fe,
Place
baby. East High School from High School Musical.
Yeah, that was shot in California, by the way.
Yeah, probably.
We're all in this together. So, Vince, where does he end up if you had to throw a dart? I think I have.
Hell. He gave up on God, dude. He ends up in the trenches, in purgatory, dude. I don't know. He hasn't played that much, so you can't really know what to expect out of him. I have no clue. He can end up at any of the schools.
Speaking of nepotism, I think he might come home
and go to
where
Arizona.
He's from here in lovely Arizona and go play for the Sun Devils.
He could.
Because
he could transfer
that
anywhere.
Would be the polar opposite. Have you seen the new Sun Devil Stadium field and what they did with that?
A-State?
Yes.
No.
AZ Arizona.
Oh, the turf?
The all red field at AZ State is badass. They switched all the turf out for red turf. It rocks. It is sick. 10 out of 10. We'll watch a football game there this year.
That's just Boise Junior. Oh, that does look really cool.
Put it on the screen.
I am. Don't rush me. Don't rush me.
You're on the YouTubes. This is the type of exclusive content you could be receiving, but you're sleeping, right?
It looks fake. Like, I don't know if I'm looking at, like, is that it?
No, that's it. That's it, babe.
That is cool.
It's pretty sick, right?
I'm interested to see what it's going to end up looking like on TV.
It's going to look red, Vince. What the fuck do you think it's going to look like?
I know, but like with the ball, are you going to be able to see the ball as well? Because the green on the brown is easy. Brown on burgundy is a little bit harder.
I mean,
come on,
that's
Mike.
a fair
think
topic.
about it. These are the things that we got to think about, you know?
I mean, but then again, what do you think these guys are like colorblind or some shit where they're not going to be able to differentiate where
not
the ball
for the
is?
players. It's the same thing as like you know how Oregon had to get rid of their basketball court and change it because the court was so crazy that you couldn't see where the ball was on TV, like that kind of stuff, like the viewer watching ability.
Footprints?
Yeah, and
with
like
the footprints.
Yeah, they had like that wild pattern on it, and it was like this is really difficult. Or like when you watch a play-in game or not play-in game, excuse me. When you watch one of
what's on your brain? What's
NBA
on his brain?
No, the Bulls are getting smoked right now, so we'll see how that ends up going. No, the NBA Cup games when like the Bulls had a red court and like they had a bunch of different color courts and it was just an eyesore to watch on TV. It might be an eyesore to watch.
Very well could be, but it could also be a pretty cool recruiting tool. It's like, hey, come play on the red field, baby.
Boise's already got that covered.
Yeah, they got the blue field. Always have though. Blue
I know
it's kind of
sick. It is sick. This feels like a poser move, but we'll see if it's cool or not.
We will talk about a gentleman who played on that field here shortly.
Did you see our VP drop the trophy? JD Vance dropped the championship trophy with Ohio State, and in my head, I was like, one of the worst people make a very, very funny move. That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, an idiot does something that I adore him for. That's exactly how I felt.
It was like he didn't understand that it's two pieces.
Yeah,
so like he had to like pick it up, and like the bottom fell out on it.
Yeah,
and like they caught it pretty quick, but boy, oh boy,
that's
you didn't think like, oh, this is a very like delicate probably piece, or as Rob Manfred once called the World Series trophy, a piece of metal.
Yeah.
Where this is something you probably should be a little bit more careful with. JD rocking maybe his guy liner got in his eye, and he was like,
probably.
And then he wears guy liner.
100%.
You can't tell me he does.
For sure, he does.
He totally wears guy liner.
Yeah.
He totally wears guy liner.
Yeah, no, like, but Ohio State deserves to get it.
Marilyn Manson.
They deserve to get their trophy dropped on the ground. So honestly, respect to our
vice president. I kind of hate to say that, but it's kind of on point. Like after all that shit talking, the vice president dropped your trophy.
Yep.
So maybe that's like, just
the
fair warning.
The curse of the VP. It's like, and they'll never win for the next 100 years.
Right, unless they all wear guy liner.
They kind of do. Did Will Howard have like all that face paint on?
Oh, yeah, he did. Although Donald Trump called out Jeremiah Smith, I think that might be a thing, by the way, because I think if you're like a great receiver, Trump calls you out because he called out Justin Jefferson and LSU. He was like, "Where's Justin? Where's Justin?" He did the same thing. He's like, "Where's Jeremiah?" Here,
I don't think he understands sports though, because every time he compliments somebody with such a wide net. It's like he's a real athlete. He can do a lot out there. And you're like, do you know what he does? Like what he's supposed to do?
He said to Justin Jefferson, "Boy, he's gonna make a lot of money one day."
Yeah,
he did. He accurately predicted that.
Wow, so difficult.
Well, I mean,
what a genius.
Think about it. Jalen Reagor went before Justin Jefferson.
And Eagles still won, so it's fine.
Yeah, you got a point. Not with him though.
All is forgiven.
Yeah, all is forgiven. Yeah, I did see that. That was wonderful.
Oh yeah,
good for Ohio State fans.
No,
but we do have. We got some people.
Yes, So this last weekend was the Frozen Four and the National Championship for college hockey. And
oh wow,
our two friends of the program, Sean and Josh, two of my childhood best friends, both went out to St. Louis and watched it because a friend of ours' brother is on Western Michigan, and alas, they won the whole damn thing, and it was very sweet. Very awesome. I have a quick video I want to show from the boys themselves. So let me get this set up, and then we'll listen to the air it out that Josh left us because it was pretty electric, and people don't talk about college hockey as much as they should. So without further ado, if you're watching on YouTube, congrats, because this is going to be better on that. But the countdown.
Good for them.
Badass, dude.
You gotta love
it. It just makes you happy, dude. It just makes you happy.
Yeah, it does. You know what doesn't make me happy?
What's that?
Just you watch the Masters, which we'll talk about on this episode.
Yes.
Everybody's bringing it in and just soaking it in, right, as humans.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody in this video, they got their phone out. They just, I can't miss it. Just
I know.
Live in the moment, people.
I know, but then we wouldn't have that cool video, you know?
That's very also, okay, continue.
There's two sides to that. I know what you're saying, though, because it is nice. At the Masters, everybody's just clapping and happy for him. So I've had that take for a long time. Like, what's better? What's the better of the two comparisons? But regardless, very badass for the boys. So let's get he wanted to call into the stadium, but he said it would probably be inaudible. So he left us one post. So here we go.
What up, boys? It's Josh, long-time listener, second-time caller. Love you guys. I just wanted to give a shout-out to the Western Michigan Broncos for winning the Natty, baby. That shit was electric.
That's awesome.
Shout-out to Wyatt Shingo. The first goal of the championship, it was freaking
He went
sick.
to Jacobs.
The atmosphere was insane. I just got my voice back. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, it was insane. The puck babes were out. We ended up going to a baseball game on the off day. The atmosphere was so much lamer than playoff hockey. But yeah, shout out to the boys. It was an awesome season. And yeah, that's it. Shout out to the puck babes. Love you guys. Peace be with you. And for the love of God, please get Kay Adams on the show. All right, see you guys.
Such a horny little guy.
I would love to get Kay Adams on it.
Hey, if Kay Adams, if you're hearing this, please, we would love to have you. Chicago lady.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
please.
Just makes sense. We'll have Josh just in his world.
100%. I need
Josh.
that.
Sounds like you had a great time, bud. I'm happy to hear it.
All of them lost their voices. Wyatt Shingolthy of Western Michigan and of Algonquin, Illinois is on the team. So
shout out to the hometown. We gotta love that. Yeah, you gotta love it. I mean, and hey, who knows? Maybe he goes on and does bigger things after.
I'm hoping for it.
College, right?
And if he doesn't, at least he won a goddamn natty.
How many people can say in their lifetime they won a national championship in anything?
Not many. Not many.
Speaking of which.
Speaking of championships.
Rory.
He did it.
Words of Bill Nance got his masterpiece.
He did.
How long do you think Bill Nance was working on that one? If he he kind of started, or Jim. How long do you think James Nance was working on that before he figured it out? He had to write down 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah.
Because nobody's that good.
He's the best at his job. He just is the best at doing shit like that.
He was a little fucking corny on Sunday. I'm not.
Yeah, but it's the Masters. He is what he is.
Does this allow you just to be an absolute fucking cornball?
Yes.
All the time?
Oh yeah. His dad taught him at a young age, and this is all the stuff he's been working towards, and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's all just theatrical nonsense. And
missed the 4-foot putt.
Yeah, nonsense.
This is everything for
I was admittedly wrong. And I'm happy that I was.
Vince, you kind of reversed psychologied Rory into winning last week. I know it wasn't because I was like, Vince, this could potentially happen. Don't count him out. Maybe this is his year.
Yeah. No, I was getting a couple texts this week.
I'm not saying I called it, by the way. I'm not going to go there.
You definitely didn't. You definitely didn't.
Because I have no fucking clue on golf, but
yeah. No, I got a couple texts this week that was just haha, you must be so pissed Rory's winning this. I'm like, I want him to. I wanted him to. I always have wanted him to do it. I just didn't think he'd be able to because he's crashed and burned so many times. So watching it happen, it was yeah, he's way ahead. I don't know if it's better that he has his comfort blanket or not. And, Justin Rose comes out, kills it on Thursday. You get through Saturday, and then Bryson DeChambeau is 1 stroke behind going into Sunday, and it was all right, fire's under your ass. He's gonna come. I was gonna say he's gonna come in on you, so watch out for that.
Pause.
And then come Sunday, you're 3 holes in, and Bryson's down to a -8, and you're like, all right, Rory's got a hold of this. And then slowly but surely, Justin Rose creeping back up to the end where it was okay, all Rory has to do is make a putt. Misses a really bad putt. He goes into the water. He ends up double bogeying, I think, losing 2 strokes.
On the third hole? On the third hole.
Yeah, at the beginning of Sunday. And then he goes back and starts playing laser focused, beautiful golf for 6, 7 holes.
He locked in. Locked in till about hole, what was it, 14 or?
Yeah, where it was he's got this now. All he has to do is just not make mistakes. And then flat stick issues. Always, it's flat stick issues at the end of Sunday, leaving him not getting birdies, leaving him not getting pars, and then even getting bogeys to the point where Justin Rose finishes it, and he's only up 1 stroke, and you're all you have to do is just par the rest of the way, and you're fine, and then leave it to the last fucking hole and being oh, we're in a playoff, and I was God damn it, dude, just. Finish all you have to. He is going to be 1 of 5 golfers to get a career Grand Slam. Everybody wants to see it. He's the most deserving in golf. All you have to do is finish it out. He wanted to do nothing but lose it. It was wild the whole time.
Was it the most underwhelming victory maybe ever? Because he fucked up a lot, and I know it's golf. Yeah. It wasn't a landslide.
Yeah,
it wasn't that he just had his. Perfect game.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that at all. It was a lot of ups and downs.
It was more of a tribes and tribulations than it was this guy's just amazing. Well, that's kind of the thing. It's the golf course eats you, right? That's the whole concept. I don't know if I'd call it underwhelming, but I would maybe unimpressive. But he did come into the playoff and play a perfect hole. He was
a lot of people are saying that it could maybe potentially be the best Masters of all time.
Oh, I was glued, dude.
As I was as well. I was also glued.
Yeah.
I was glued the last I started watching it hole 9, and then I was in the whole way through the rest of the afternoon. It's wonderful nat material, the piano, the quietness, Jim Nance just kind of reminding you that he's around.
Yeah. Wow, beautiful shot there. Beautiful shot.
Beautiful
nice
shot.
Little wrap around the trees there. And He's going to love that. He's going to love that.
Oh, he's going to love that. Oh, he's going to hate that.
Or when Rory's
Tony
like,
Romo's
you got to go. You got to go. You got to go.
My favorite is just like if Tony Romo just popped in there at one point. Like, I don't know, Jim.
I don't know if it's going to make it.
I don't know, Jim. You know, I'm pretty good at golf too. I don't know.
I wouldn't say underwhelming again because it was like exciting. But I would say this is the most Rory McIlroy way to win a Masters. For sure. That's the way he's supposed to win a Masters. Now, Justin Rose, on the other hand, you kind of got to feel bad for the guy. You kind of
feel bad for him. He could have played better. He made that putt on 17 that he needed to make in order to stay in it.
Yeah. No.
That's what, that one.
The reason I feel bad for him is that he played really well on Thursday and then went down and then made this like insane comeback the last half of Saturday going into Sunday and played a great round on Sunday to the point where you're like, oh shit, he's like coming up on the tail. He's comeback kid right now. And in 2017, he was in a playoff with Sergio Garcia in the Masters and lost in a playoff round. So this is the second time he came in second place in the Masters.
Maybe next year is his year. Maybe going into next year, that's something to keep in your back pocket, right?
If he won, he'd be the oldest first-time winner ever. So it's not like he's a young man.
The beauty of golf is you don't necessarily have to be the youngest guy on the course to be the best.
Precision over range the whole time.
Correct. And Rory can hit the ball almost further than anybody. I mean, DeChambeau's known to hit
Bryson,
nukes, but I would say that it is a exciting game to watch if you're invested and there's a little drama.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like baseball in a sense that you have to know what's going on. And then every time I watch this, it just makes me want to get good at golf.
I wish you would.
I do understand how hard this fucking game is.
Impossible.
And it's so difficult and it's so very frustrating.
Well, it's cool because like I don't know if you saw this is going around a little bit. Like every year, the Masters is posting a bunch of stuff around this time, like all this most picturesque, beautiful shit all over the Masters Instagram.
It's gorgeous.
And then all of the like accounts like talking about the Masters. Did you hear about the guy that gets to play after the cut on the Masters?
I did hear about this, that basically like one guy bowed out last minute and they called a club member.
If the cut comes to a point where it's an odd amount of players, they end up matching one player with the best member. So like, say like the cut has 25 guys and everybody needs a duo to play with, right? So they'll make the 26th guy the best member player, and then he gets to play the Masters, essentially. And for a long time, it was the same guy year after year that was just incredibly good. And so good that he was the best player to have a Masters membership or have Augusta membership, and he's still so much worse than all the other players. But a couple of years he got the best of his partner, which is cool. But this year a new guy came in and he got to end up playing with the Masters, and it's just like, one, like clearly these guys have a shit ton of money, so it's not like that incredible versus some random guy. It would be a lot cooler if someone just got to play in the Masters. But it was cool that this guy got the chance to play with a golfer at Augusta on Saturday. It's something you can't get unless you're a very specific guy.
Unless you're the best at Augusta. I mean,
unless you're the best player at the most prestigious course. Yeah. So you
can you imagine getting that phone call? Like, what are you up to today?
He had to be ready knowing that it was a possibility, right?
I don't know. Maybe he was out, grabbing breakfast with the family.
No, because he was watching.
He called him and we're like,
he knew he knows he's the best player at Augusta already.
Oh, okay.
He already knows that.
They were like, hey, it's Jim John Joe Bop over here at Augusta.
Well, if you
would you be interested in playing today?
If he knows that he's already the best, like he's probably watching on Friday, like where's the cut line? Like where is it going to be and how many people are going to fit?
How do you finish? Do we know?
I don't know how he ended up playing. I can figure it out. That shouldn't take too long.
I would love to figure that out. But you don't want to know, Vince, what like the best 5 minutes in television is?
What?
The best 5 minutes in television is at the end where they have like the chairman of Augusta come out, and do you really understand that like this is just like an older Nepo baby whose family has like old fucking oil money in Georgia, and he is like grandfathered in or great grandfathered in, and now he's somehow the chairman of Augusta, and it's just like I'm Herman
Durman, yeah.
And they're like, what do you think? Well, Rory, you played a great game today, and here you go. It's just like, and here's your jacket.
I can't figure out what he ended up playing.
The first time Tiger had to win there, they probably were not happy.
Oh, 100%.
Think of that.
Yeah, 100%. It's just like, this isn't an overly tan white guy. What are we doing here?
Well, women can't play there still to this day, right? Isn't that?
I think
true?
that is the case. Yeah, which is wild. It's so dumb,
crazy.
Wild.
To be fair, it's like Butler in the south suburbs of Chicagoland. Butler is a big
boys club.
It's a big boys club.
Yeah,
it's actually, from what some people have said, what Caddyshack was written off of.
Oh shit!
They still will not allow any person that is not a member there to play there. It's like a thing.
I kind of get it for prestige terms, but I think it's lame when people do shit like that. It's just lame.
That's why the PGA can't play there, by the way. They've wanted to, but they have turned them down time and time again.
That is crazy too. Why wouldn't you want to put your shit on TV? I guess they don't have to. They already make their money, so
they could give a fuck. Could you imagine the Masters being in Chicago?
It'd be great.
That would be just
when they play Chicagoland area stuff for PGA. I'm like, this is so sick. BMW
instead of pimento
championship
cheese sandwiches, it's just
which are ass. Which
reminder
are ass. I watched Shane Gillis talked about going to the Masters this year, and he's like, you could get a pimento cheese for $1.50. He's like, yeah, those are priced properly. They're not good.
I saw something.
He's right.
I saw
absolutely right, dude.
Influencers, I don't know what to call them. These golf-fluencers. It was like a guy and his wife, and they're like, we're at the Masters.
Yeah.
And they tried it, the pimento cheese sandwich, and like comes in a green bag or whatever. And then they like eat it, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's so good!" And you're like, not. "No, it's not."
I promise you, it's
good.
You're eating a cheese sandwich. You're eating a non-grilled cheese sandwich on Wonder Bread. It gets you through it. It's cool, but like people overhyped it to a point where it's not that cool. Like it just isn't that good. I promise you.
Food. Taxi Squad's back to the food.
I will say though, when he won, his like reaction was so genuine and real that I was sitting there and I'm like, this is great. This is making me so happy right now. Like I was just really happy for the guy.
I alluded to it earlier, but what was also great is, once again, you can't have a cell phone there. And it's one of these situations where everybody was taking it in.
Yeah.
Everyone. It wasn't like it was just, living through a phone or device. Everybody was there.
In the moment.
And it's a beautiful thing to see.
Oh, yeah.
To see society as one, right?
One thing I do hate is like the guy that just really wants his voice to be on television at some point. So whenever like somebody hits the ball, it's just like, get in the hole. Like there's always a guy that yells that.
Yeah, there's always one.
They're driving. It's like a 430 and the guy drives. And then some guy after the drive's like, get in the hole. It's like, he didn't drive into the green, you fucking idiot. Like it's not even close to it. He just wants to be like, Hey, Jeff, were you watching the Masters the other day?
That was me.
Voice on that? Yeah. You hear that guy say, get in the hole? He's like, you and 8,000 other people that said that? Yeah.
Do you also want to know a fun fact about the Masters?
No, that's it. I don't want any more.
Fuck it. We're done.
No, please do.
So people will rent out their homes like on Vrbo and Airbnb in and around Augusta. Do you want to know what like 3 nights could cost?
Oh, I don't know the exact amount, but I will say when I did go, we ended up Airbnb-ing a place in South Carolina and driving to Augusta because it was so outlandishly expensive to stay over there.
Correct. So if you want to stay in Augusta, you're looking at somewhere close to about $20K a night.
Yeah. And you want to know what isn't a really nice place? Augusta, Georgia is not nice. Like it is when you get into the Augusta golf club, obviously. But outside of it, there's like a Hooters and like a Wendy's and then a highway. Like it's like going to like a conference center for like a corporate job. That's what it feels like outside of it.
Some people are capable of paying their mortgages like for 6 months out of the year after renting their house for a weekend.
How, dude?
Because the amount of money
I know, but how do they even have like a mortgage that's affordable if that's the case? Is it like a house they bought 40 years ago?
Usually,
they should have already paid off their mortgage.
Not necessarily. What if you're like a millennial buyer, potentially like us? I mean, boom, right there.
Because it already would have been like. It just seems like if you had property there, I would never sell it.
Let's look at property prices in Augusta. Look it up, Vince.
Please.
Pause. Hotel rooms, $3,000 to $5,000 a night. Just insane. And then not only that, but like, what was it? I think I saw tickets on Sunday resale.
Oh, $215? That's crazy.
Like $8,000. Like $8,000 to attend Sunday. You wanted to go
a median house in Augusta, Georgia is $153,000.
Wow, there we go.
That's not high at all. You think it'd be more?
We're getting into real estate investment, people. We're buying a house in Augusta.
Yeah, but then we'd have to go to Augusta.
We wouldn't have to live in it.
That's true.
Just rent it out. There you go.
I don't even want to go there.
I mean, hey, you did go.
I know, but it was like it wasn't my favorite place we ended up on the trip.
Can I spill some tea about Rory?
Sure.
Who's the reporter that the woman, the blonde lady that talks to all of them in between?
I forgot, but she's trying to match like the Masters. Like, Bryson, today you figured this out. It just felt seductive as shit. It just really did. I don't know her name though.
Okay, but you know the tea that's being spilled about her, correct?
No, fill me in.
So allegedly, this is all alleged. So you know how that divorce proceedings were happening last year between Rory and his wife?
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
And then it didn't happen. It was about to happen, but didn't happen. He was calling for it, but then it didn't happen.
Yep.
Allegedly, by the way, his wife in that hat, whatever that outfit was she had going on Sunday.
Keep it in your pants.
Chef's kiss, Vince.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Woman looked lovely. I don't know how any man could step out on that. Maybe she just doesn't, get it for him.
Oh, he is over 100 millionaire, so things happen.
Yeah, that's true. He could probably get into some freaky shit if he wanted to. But this golf analyst lady who interviews all of them, I don't even know her name.
Yeah.
Allegedly had been having an affair with Rory.
Where'd you hear this?
That's the talk of the tea right now on the internet. So look it up on the Reddits. And that's just Reddit investigative journalism. But a lot of people say they have a little ting going on, like Mr. and Mrs. Jones. We got a ting.
Amanda Balionis, I think her name.
Yeah.
And she wasn't allowed to interview him after it because Jim Nantz did.
Got it.
That's what I'm reading.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I'm doing a little bit of investigative journalism right now.
Yeah, I did a little dive on this, and this is kind of the tea floating around, different blind items, Wife gets going on these things on TikTok, and she's like, can you believe this? His wife is beautiful. I'm like, it's all alleged. Like, you can't. Yeah, they could just be conspiring just to drum up noise. Why? Because they were friendly and touched arms once and gave each other a hug. Like, they see each other every weekend.
Looks like it, and it's like, get your own life. She gushed about him after the Masters. Daily Mail opens up about rumored ex. But Daily Mail, like, what am I supposed to believe on the Daily Mail? Like, I don't know.
Can you imagine you're like a 20-something professional golfer, good-looking guy.
No,
you're at the top of the top.
I could not imagine.
You're at the top of the top. That some of the dopest functions you could go to as an adult. Both ties looking nice. You got women around you all. You could just lay it on a table and just be like, who wants it? And walk in, whatever. In a very polite and British way, of course, but
Northern Irish.
Yeah, my bad. Northern Irish. It's not going to be like a Guy Ritchie movie, right?
Northern Ireland.
Northern. Yeah, you know.
Not Northern Irish. It's Northern Ireland.
Ah, bloody hell.
Bloody hell.
I used to.
He's Irish. He's not even fucking. He's not even fucking English. Why are you saying it like that?
I had a customer. I had a customer who was from Ireland.
Cool.
And Paul's sister owned a bed and breakfast. And Rory would stay there. He'd tell me all about it all the time. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, Rory will stay there."
Oh, my guy Rory McIlroy stayed here the other day.
I've met him. Nice guy. Oh, Michael, bloody hell. He'd say, "Bloody hell, can't buy anything right now." He was great.
He sounds like he's very nice, and we followed him for most of our Masters year, and he had the demeanor of a very kind person. So.
You hope he's not an asshole, right? He comes from humble beginnings.
Well, yeah, because Bryson comes off as a massive asshole. So you gotta.
By the way,
Brooks comes off as a massive asshole, but
Brooks comes off like a coked out fucking
Dustin Johnson, massive asshole.
Well, didn't Justin Johnson marry Paulina Gretzky?
He is married to her and has children with her. Yes.
Yes, and they were on many coked out adventures together. That was in the news at that time. Yeah. But DeChambeau is kind of a doucher. There's no doubt about it. When they came to him, they were like, "Did you talk to Rory today?" And he was like, "No, didn't. He didn't say a word to me."
But he's just like are you saying his after round interview?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was just more like, we just stick to our games. I'm pretty sure Rory didn't want to talk to fucking anybody except for his caddy.
That's what I'm saying. By the way, the caddy score is brilliant. I don't know if
he was like salty about it though. That's not the way that I took it when I watched it.
Yeah, nor did I. I mean,
because Bryson DeChambeau was already pissed off because he gave up 4 strokes in the first 3 holes. He just fucked it up really bad.
Well, there was some shit talk going on between the two of them prior to Sunday, where Rory and DeChambeau are warming up together, and Rory said something along the lines of, "Well, don't bring that game you brought. Not what he did to me." What Open was that last year? I
think
forgot.
It was the U.S. Open. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe the U.S. Open.
They had a playoff. It was a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, you did that to yourself," and then everybody started laughing.
Oh yeah, that was that was like the media stuff. Yep.
But the story that can't be, forgotten is the fact that Rory's caddy and him have been best friends since they've been 7 years old.
I love that.
And that guy's stuck with him through it all. And
nice nice paycheck.
Oh yeah, he got fucking a bag.
He has plenty of times in his tenure as his caddy.
But he stuck with his best friend, and what Rory said in his post game, when he's like, "This is as much his as it is mine," and that is amazing.
Yeah, him just crying. It was so genuine. You felt good for him. So again, very happy that happened. Didn't think it was going to, but very happy that happened. Also, side note,
let's talk about
the Bulls are probably going to lose this game. It's 71-47 at the end of the second. So let's talk about baseball.
Good, we get a lottery pick, Vince. We get a lottery pick.
Hooray.
I'm down for lottery pick.
We got a couple more air it outs this week. We got 2 more. Let's just start them here. One's about baseball. One's not about baseball. All right.
Okay,
let's start here. This
is the Cheekmeister calling for specifically for the Silver Fox prick.
Get it out.
Also Vince. Anyways, I want to discuss the Blue Jays. I think they're doing superb, or they will be. And I think they're going to knock it out of the park and go Jags.
Hell yeah. Thank you. No, they won't. Unfortunately, I don't think the Blue Jays are going to do much of anything this year. But yeah, that was 33 seconds long, and probably 17 seconds of it was us.
Yes.
Respectfully.
Just brilliant. Ryan, brilliant.
Yep.
So fun facts there. There is a friend, lifelong friend of my life who loves to give me a hard time. But growing up, for whatever reason, in the Chicagoland suburbs, was a fucking Blue Jays fan.
Yeah.
So he's always leaned on his Blue Jay fandom. Knows nothing about the team, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
If you put a picture of Vlad Guerrero in front of him, he wouldn't know who he is.
He's on the Expos, right?
That is their saving grace. But I don't think the Blue Jays are going to do much in the AL East.
No, that's a tough division right now, to say it. And then
Boston looks horrible, by the way. Crochet almost nodded the White Sox.
Crochet, yeah. Well, Boston was like, I don't know if you heard the announcers, but before that series, they're like, the White Sox invent new ways to lose every single time. Luckily, we'll have an easy series to them, and then the White Sox beat them in the first 2 games of the series. So, gotta love it.
We'll take that, and then Crochet almost nodded him.
Yeah, but Crochet is the man. Here's another air it out.
Hey guys, big fan, long-time listener, first-time caller. My 2 cents, I just need you guys to show more dong.
Okay.
Thanks.
Got it.
Love you.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm gonna start flashing pee on this podcast now.
Really, Vince? You're gonna drop a little Pashad?
No, we're on YouTube. You're not allowed to.
Are you gonna be Vinny Pashad moving forward? Is that gonna
maybe
be
I'll do like the
nickname?
finger out of the pants thing, but I don't think you're allowed to show penis on YouTube. So
no, we can't show peen on YouTube. That's definitely nothing we could do. You gotta love these air it outs now. They're starting to get fun.
Come on, send us some more, dude. I love them.
Continue to call in. We enjoy these, even if they're silly and stupid, like Hanging Dog. Like this is an episode of Righteous Gemstones.
Facts,
right? Because that show has a lot of full frontal.
Hella pee, dude. There's pee all over that.
Not pushing pee, but just showing it.
No, it's flashing pee, more like it.
Flashing pee, not pulling pee.
You have a Juan Soto update, Mike. Please fill us in.
Juan Soto, just in case anybody didn't realize this, is a giant bag of dicks.
Okay, that's wild.
Hanging pee. Recently come out and basically said that his teammate Pete Alonso is not as good a hitter as Aaron Judge, which first and foremost, no shit. But then second, don't talk about your current teammates being worse than your former teammates that literally play in the same city.
Why did he even say that? Did he get asked that?
Maybe he's trying to find his way out. Maybe you think he's already trying to find, because he has been dog shit. He's hit one home run all year?
Yeah, he's not playing that great. But again, this is just the beginning of the year, so we'll see that end up changing. Clearly that's the case, because Aaron Judge is the best, if not the second best hitter in the league right now. But also, who cares? Why are we even talking about this? Just play. Just play your game, dude. You got $700 million. Just go play.
I don't think the Mets are even going to remotely touch the playoffs, Vince.
How do you say that? How could you say that?
I don't see it.
They almost made the World Series last year.
Almost counts in horseshoes.
We are 20 games into the season.
I'm telling you, Vince, I got a feeling.
I know, but if you told me last year that the Detroit Tigers would play in the ALDS, I would have told you it was a lie too, but they did.
Yeah, you got a point. Hey, who knows, Vince? Maybe if the Mets flounder, the White Sox will come to the top.
Like Kevin Garnett,
of the
anything is possible, except for that. That is not possible, unfortunately.
Like Kevin Garnett trying to enunciate or read, just in general.
Yeah.
Not very good at it.
Bad clip.
Equivalent.
Yeah.
Speaking of
equivalent. Bad. Not good, Kev.
Very bad. Sorry, Kev.
Not good.
Chicago guy. Now, another thing. Does the MLB network hate us all, Vince?
Why?
Do they hate us? Because their game of the week this week was the White Sox and A's.
The Sacramento A's?
The No Nation A's. They don't have a land, a team. They don't have anything, really. So,
the A's.
Why did they do this to us?
A's spent a little bit of money. They're in a new stadium. Maybe that's the draw. I don't really understand why. I think it's because they have so many weeks throughout the year that they got to give it to somebody. But yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense.
Why would you? Why? Do you? I mean, we're already in enough pain. We have to nationally televise the pain.
There's a lot of guys that don't have a national name on either team, and there is some talent on both teams. So maybe they're just trying to flash that a little bit. I don't know.
The White Sox don't have a lot of talent. Colson Montgomery is not on the team. I don't even know who's playing shortstop.
I'm just talking about Lou Bob, and also Brooks Baldwin. Vargas might play every now and then at shortstop, but he's a catcher, so it's a real mixed bag of people playing our infield right now. But
it's just
yeah. There's no reason they should have that game as the game of the week. But
you know what I also dislike? There are these you see things on the internet. And there's these guys who float around on the internet who get aggressively upset.
Yeah.
About they're White Sox fans, but they're screaming.
Yeah, every team has them too, though, but it's
they'll film the game that they're watching and be like, this fucking team, they're horrible. It's like,
yeah, man.
Did you just realize this today?
Historically bad, actually. Historically the worst. Yeah, they're bad.
They're horrible.
They've been bad for years. Every team has it. It's a guy that lives and dies by every game. There's on Twins Twitter. I was on Twins Twitter for a while because they were getting all angry. That is just the case. It's just dudes like will watch every game, live or die, and be like, well, how could he possibly do that? And you're like, that's going to happen 100 more times this year, and probably 60% of the time it'll work out for you. Who knows? But also, like, you're going to die early. You're going to get a heart attack freaking out that much. Just take a deep breath. It's baseball,
baby. Don't have a heart attack, kid.
Don't have a heart attack, dude.
Don't have a heart attack. Just have a milkshake. Speaking of a team that's built on milkshakes and solely milkshakes, Vince, there is new news coming out of the ownership group of the Chicago White Sox.
Correct.
That the Ishbia brothers are making noise. One brother, Matt Ishbia, is making more of a push to get more of a percentage of ownership of the team.
Is Justin the White Sox one and Matt's the Phoenix one?
Maybe.
That's one or the other.
Know.
One of them owns the Suns. One of them's buying the White Sox. But sorry, go on.
One of them owns the Suns. They make a lot of money because, I don't know, tech.
Second richest man in Illinois.
Which is insane in itself. The first one's got to be J.B. Pritzker.
Yeah, it's Pritzky. It's toilet man.
He is so not crooked. But if we look at this, Justin and Matt Ishbia, so both of them.
They're both
of the brothers. Yes, they own 35% of the Chicago White Sox. Cool. The fund controlled by Michael and Jonathan Reinsdorf are 30%, and Jerry is 50%. Yeah. 8 or so other limited partners are at 50%.
Sorry, say that again?
35% by the Ishbia brothers.
Yeah.
Michael and Jonathan 30. Jerry 20. So there's 50 right there.
Oh, okay.
And then 8 or so other limited partners at 15%. Yeah. This is all based off the 670 The Score Twitter post a couple days ago.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, it's good they're getting rid of most of it. That's what he said. He said buy a bunch of the minority shares when the team needs to get sold over, probably for what is it, capital gains tax when Jerry dies. He wants to make sure they have money. That's the whole concept. I wish they would just do it now, just keep that money in the bank for the future. But I don't know.
Well. Similar to the Bears, a lot of people were thinking about that they were going to sell. There's no chance in God's great green earth that the McCaskey family will sell.
You got to keep it in the family that started the team, except it's not because it's a different part of a different family, but whatever.
Estate planning 101, not our forte, but
dumb.
If you make that much money, you probably should know what that's about or have enough lawyers to figure out what that's about. But sell it, please. Jerry, Reinsdorf family, get rid of it. Go focus. Go focus on the Bulls. But one more thing before we get to the Bulls.
Yep.
Did we see the Cubs flounder against the Padres this week?
I mean, they won the first game of the series.
Yes, but did you see the second game?
Yeah, bad.
Okay, here's the funniest part. Ready?
Okay. I understand what you're saying, but I will say the Cubs have the best point differential, run differential in the league.
I know. We talked about that last week. They're like hitting the cover off the baseball.
Top 5 in the MLB right now.
But just this series, as not being a Cub fan, was just so funny. Defensively and pitching wise, they're not the hottest. Right? Can hit the cover off the baseball. We figured that out. Once they figure out the pitching and the defense, I think they'll be quite good in that Central Division.
Too. Yeah.
Now, you do have the Reds to contend with, who are playing pretty good baseball right now.
Yep.
I will say that this defensive blunder was just something out of the worst top 10, right?
It looked like a White Sox play.
It really did. Manny Machado is facing, I forget his name. He's a Japanese pitcher on the Cubs.
Imanaga.
Shoto Imanaga. Facing Shoto Imanaga. Fouls off one. Down the right field line. Tucker missed it. Off the glove. Okay. Round 2, right up the elevator shaft goes Machado, and their third baseman drops it out of bounds. Foul ball, 2 foul balls in a row. Third pitch, what's the outcome?
Yonk.
Dinger.
Launch.
Home run, Manny Machado. Just an absolute piss missile.
Did you see the Reds game, the Ellie De La Cruz versus the announcers situation?
I did not.
Ellie De La Cruz hit a bomb against the Pirates. The Pirates announcers, he was, I want to say 2-2, maybe 3-2 full count. And the announcer's like, oh, change up in right-handed corner. He's going to swing at it and miss it, strike out. throws the ball, launches it over the wall. And I think it was a grand slam. It was awesome. He's like, this is good. We're going to get out of the inning. No, nothing's hurt. All that stuff. Just essentially making a prediction. Boom, game blasted wide open. LA De La Cruz goes yard. I love that because it's like your predictions are a messy, messy time, my friend.
I mean, you look at the Reds right now. You got the right management there. They could potentially take the Central. That's an interesting dark horse there.
Decent pitching.
Francona,
good players. Francona, who always wins.
Francona always wins. You got Mike Napoli. Remember Mike Napoli? Red Sox great Mike Napoli.
Certainly
He's the first base coach.
Didn't he coach the Angels for a couple years?
I think for a minute there, he was like a bench coach.
He was a post-Madden or pre-Madden for them, something like that. But he coached there.
Interesting. All right. Should we talk about the play-in? Which Vince had to explain the play-in to me today, by the way.
Basketball play-in tournament, Mike. Do you understand it now? Can you explain it to the masses or no?
I'm going to do my best.
Okay.
So basically what Vince explained to me, the play-in tournament is for the 9th and 10th seed. Right?
No.
I'm on?
Wrong.
No. Okay.
Already incorrect.
Already wrong. You're already wrong. Shut the fuck up, Mike. So Vince, explain it.
It's for the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th seed.
Okay, so it's for the final 4.
Last 2 in the playoffs and then first 2 out.
Got it.
So what ends up happening is the 7th and 8th place team plays. Okay. Whoever wins that game is in the playoffs.
Got it.
Whoever loses that game has to play whoever wins between the 9th and the 10th seed.
And then the 2 losers play each other to see who's going to come and be that potential.
So if you lose, if you're in the 9th and 10th seed, if you lose, you're out. So the Bulls probably going to lose tonight and be out. So then it'll be Heat versus Hawks because they lost to the Magic last night.
Okay.
And then if the Hawks lose 2 times, then they're out completely.
So it's kind of almost like a round robin in a sense.
In a way, yeah. If you're in the playoffs right now, you have 2 chances to make it in. If you're outside of the playoffs, you have 1 chance to make it in.
Okay.
2 chances to lose out. Yeah. So both sides. So last night, meaning Tuesday, since it's Wednesday and this comes out on Thursday, the Warriors played the Grizzlies in a battle. Absolute
what a game.
Battle. Fun game.
I watched the second half. Just a great game.
John Morant is so fun to watch play basketball, and the NBA fucking hates him for some reason. Every celebration is a fine because of the whole gun thing, but like I saw a meme that was very funny about like Miles Bridges, a couple other guys with like pretty bad domestic abuse things that were proven to be true, and they're like, it's fine. John Morant is doing finger guns. He's doing finger guns, so I gotta worry about that. It's just so stupid because John Morant is top 3 to top 5 most exciting guys to watch play basketball. He's just fun. He just goes up there, yunks on people. He's got range. Like he's the man.
Athlete.
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of D Rose, a little bit bigger than D Rose.
He's Derrick Rose, taller and longer and can shoot the ball.
Correct. I really do like his game. I think he's a lot of fun to watch. You know who gets slept on that team?
JJ?
Zach Edey.
Oh, yeah.
Zach Edey was eating.
He doesn't get slept on.
Last.
He played more this year than anybody anticipated him playing in the NBA, especially in his
He
first
is like your OG style, what we grew up watching center.
He's a slow, like, ga-dunk, 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 rebound, throw out,
distribute.
Yeah, he's just.
You love it.
Yeah, he's up and down.
I love
like,
it.
He's up and down like Jack and the Beanstalk giant shit. Like, just. Yumping up and down the whole time. It's fun.
You know what's also fun to watch? A motivated Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Dear God. 38 points last night?
Yeah, he wants to. I mean, we know he comes alive in the playoffs. That's like his whole MO. It's just, you got to get him there before he wants to kill everybody in the regular season. That's the worry.
Yeah, he's a scotch of a head case, but he just, I figured out he wanted to be in California based off of his epic house that he owns there.
For sure.
I just feel like that was his play all along. He's like, all right, I'm done being.
He wanted to go to Arizona. He wanted to go to Phoenix. That was his first landing spot.
I think West. You know, you want the tax break of living in Arizona.
No, like literally when it was happening, he was like, send me to Phoenix and the Heat would not take Bradley Beal. That was the whole argument. They're like, we don't want Bradley Beal. Like, don't put him on our team. So that's why it couldn't happen. They didn't have enough room in their budget.
Well, it's like, hey, one toxic individual for another, but
Bradley Beal's been doo-doo for them this year. Just bad. He's just a bad player.
That whole team's bad, and then they just fired their head coach. It's a shit show. Matt Ishbia. Did you see what Stephen A. Smith said about Ishbia?
No.
He's the worst owner in basketball. That man's the worst owner of basketball.
He's wrong. Stephen A. Smith has been. Jerry Reinsdorf is a worse owner than Matt Ishbia. At least Matt Ishbia is spending money. You can't.
That's true.
Go to the Hornets. Talk to the Hornets for a moment. Stephen A. Smith is right 4% of the time. I swear to God. I hate that guy. He pisses me off so much.
Yeah. It's just to a point now. Does anybody even watch ESPN anymore?
I don't.
It was semi-redeeming when Skip and him were talking shit every week.
Yeah. And you get like PTI. You just get random, every show now is just an argument show, which it drives me nuts. At least PTI would be a conversation and stuff like that. But you can't do it with all of them, but that's what makes money, whatever. But anyway, Jimmy Butler on that team, Steph Curry doesn't have to be 100% nails the whole time, which is helpful for them.
Do they have the ability to make a run?
Well, if you look at it now, they would be playing the Rockets, who have had a good season, but they're not the oldest, most grizzled veteran team, which the Warriors probably don't have the stamina to get all the way there with how old they are right now.
They're pretty old.
But if the stars align and they're playing a team that hasn't been in the playoffs before, they could definitely win the first round. I could definitely see them do that.
A lot of people were counting out Jimmy in Miami a couple years ago. They made it to the finals, though. I mean, think about that.
And that team was booty cheeks. So you get him with Steph now,
Dude, Jimmy said it best last night. He was like, Steph is Batman. He said he is the real life personification of a superhero. Because 100%. If you watch that game, Grizzlies were down by 20 points at one point in the second half, and they came back to be down 3. Mm-hmm. They actually went up 3 for a second there.
They're actually a solid team.
But then Steph Curry. So the Grizzlies still have a shot to continue on.
Yeah, so the Grizzlies are going to play the winner of the Kings and the Mavericks, who play tonight being Wednesday.
Got it.
So, and the Kings have the exact same record as the Bulls, which makes me giggle. So, I mean, we'll see. I think the Grizzlies probably beat either of those teams unless AD is really going off again, but who knows? Because Kyrie is out, I think, still. So I don't know. And even John Morant got injured, and he ended up coming back in when he was injured. And I was like, what a baller.
That's what you want to see. This is why playoff basketball is fantastic.
Yeah, he kind of shot himself in the foot. But yeah, no, I mean, if you're looking at the Warriors or any team coming out of this, they beat the Rockets, they're going to have to play the Clippers, that would be a tough matchup for them. The Timberwolves would be a pretty tough matchup for them.
Unless Kawhi is Kawhi.
He will.
Kawhi is Toronto Kawhi.
Yeah.
Forget about it. I mean, that guy's
And the thing is he's played very well this year. And he's played more games than he has in the last 2 years, which is great.
That's the same thing.
But then, you put the Warriors against the Lakers. I don't know how far they go against the Lakers if the Lakers are playing well. Warriors have had to play Luka in Dallas, Luka and Kyrie, and they couldn't beat them before. So it's a tough road.
You got Jimmy, who's a defensive phenom. D'ing up Luka. That's gonna be a task for Jimmy, sure. But also a task for Luka.
But then who guards LeBron?
I don't know. You just throw somebody on him.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It always works.
Put Steph on LeBron. There you go.
Oh my God. God, no. Jesus Christ.
I'm so sick of LeBron James. I don't even want to talk about him.
He's still a good basketball player.
The Lakers will not make the finals. I will say that much.
Okay. We'll see. I think they can, but I don't think they will, but I think they can. That being said, too, I said this last week, but it still just blows my mind. The difference between third place and eighth place in the West is 2 games.
West is a tough division. I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything about it, but
way more difficult. You look at the East, and the 7th place team is 41-41. So you're looking at two different things. But at the end of the day, the Cavs, the Celtics, and the Knicks all have a chance to win. So
I think I think the Cavs have a legitimate chance. They're probably the fastest team in the league. I do not envy.
They have to beat the Celtics, and I don't know if they can.
Yeah, that's fair. Celtics are insane.
Celtics are, and they've gotten very good at the end of the season. Like they only ended up 3 games behind the Cavs for the end of the year. They're 64 and 18. The Cavs are. The Celtics are 61 and 21, and the Knicks are 51 and 31. So they're 13 games better than. Or they're 11 games better than the Knicks and then only 3 behind the Cavs. Like there was a time where the Cavs were up 10, 11 games in the conference and the Celtics just went on a heater. Like they're 33 and 8 away this year.
They are so well coached. They are so well coached and so well managed.
All the guys they bring up are just good. Like somehow they're kind of like the Heat of 2 years ago.
They've made Porzingis relevant. Like it's insane to me.
Well, it helps if you're the third option.
I understand, but think about that. Porzingis was a first-round draft pick, supposedly the savior of the Knicks.
Yeah.
They moved off of him.
Tingus Pingus.
Yeah, Tingus Pingus. Now, on the Celtics, just dogging.
So
that's the way the cookie crumbles in Boston, and I do believe we will have more coverage on this. But your thoughts, who's making it, who's not making it? In these play-in rounds, if you had to throw a dart.
Well, the Bulls aren't. I can tell you that with confidence right now.
What's the final score right now? What's the score right now?
They're down 20 right now with 8 left in the third. So they could, but they're not playing that well right now. Obviously the Magic and the Warriors already made it. It doesn't really matter who makes it in the East right now, but the Hawks are probably going to beat the Heat, and then the Hawks are going to get destroyed by the Cavaliers. In the West, Grizzlies, Kings, or Mavericks, like you kind of got to give the nod to the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
You got it.
I think the Grizzlies competed their butts off last night.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that game, that was wonderful to watch.
It does suck, though. You got to go into a playoff series and you're 2 games of really hard basketball in a row, and then you got to go play a playoff series. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, here we go again.
This is why these guys get paid, Vince. I'm sorry. This is the prime time. They don't play enough minutes during the season for it to be relevant.
I'm not saying that they're not going to play hard. I'm just saying they're going to be more winded than a team that gets 3 nights off, and then they get to play.
Hey, sometimes momentum. The only thing I do know is that the Knicks are going to fizzle out because Tom Thibodeau
overplays.
All right.
No doubt.
All right. We have maybe the segment you've been waiting for weeks.
Yeah.
We've teased it. We've rubbed outside of the gene.
We've been rubbing it. Yeah.
The gene.
We've just
been rubbing, maybe a little like creeping up the leg a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were, some people want us to hang more dong on the show. Now we're kind of rubbing outside the gene pocket. We're getting closer. How you doing? Mock draft. It's mock draft time.
Yeah.
So, we're not big into this. We're going to do a one and a done. In the past, we'd probably mock draft every week, but we're a podcast to the people, and we realize we got to do this once. And while we do it,
it's not going to change. It just isn't going to change.
It's probably not going to change shit. We're probably going to be wrong, but we're the Taxi Squad podcast, and we talk about sports and stupid stuff, and it's probably wrong, and it might get rough.
Yep.
So, with all that being said, Vince, you're on the clock.
Titans number 1 is Cam Ward. It just is.
Where's the we need the ticker. I can't
every year.
I can't function without the do.
All right.
Bring it up.
Go. I am.
And with the first pick in the 2025 draft, the Titans select
Cam Ward. Obviously Cam Ward.
Okay.
Do you agree?
I do agree. They basically come out and said it. It's like the worst kept secret now. And
it's like every year.
I feel like this every year. It's like, well, we could potentially trade out. The Titans need a quarterback.
I thought he was a second-round draft pick.
Last year, he's a second-round draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it.
Okay, you said this year he was, but whatever. I'll leave it be.
Well, he did play very well towards the end of the season, making me put my foot in my mouth. I thought it was Shedeur all the way. But as we've seen, Shedeur Sanders is not exactly getting all the hype that he could have, even though I still have him due potentially going far. So let's continue down this path, shall we?
So number 2, the Cleveland Browns are on the clock.
And
I hate that.
Travis Hunter. Right. Travis Hunter.
Oh, yeah?
Travis Hunter.
You're taking Travis Hunter to the Browns. I disagree.
Yeah. Ooh, where's the disagreement?
I think that this pick is going to solidify maybe the two best edges in the NFL. You can make an argument for something else, but Abdul Carter.
Crown him that quick, Vince.
Abdul Carter is a dog. He's a scary, scary dog, and I think that the Browns are going to be like, let's solidify this defense of line for the next 10 years. Abdul Carter on one side, Myles Garrett on the other. That is disgusting. You got to take it. So I'm
Todd. What argument could be said for Travis Hunter? Great two-way player, once in a lifetime talent and generation. I think it could definitely be a different position.
Did you see that he said that he would, if he doesn't get an opportunity to play both sides of the ball, he wouldn't play football at all?
I highly doubt that'll happen.
I agree, but I think any team that drafts him is going to probably let him play both sides at least a little bit.
Well, you look at a team like the Browns, Stefanski could get real creative with him on offense.
Yep.
You have two shutdown corners now in Denzel Ward and him. You look at that. Todd could potentially be a once-in-a-lifetime generation Joe Flacco coming back for his 17th time being a one-time starter. You look at it, it could potentially be a situation where if they want to draft a quarterback, which some people are saying Shedeur Sanders, Abdul Carter, I understand you could team up and have just like Captain America and Thor.
Yeah,
on one
that's
side
literally,
of the line,
yeah,
right?
I just see that happening. I mean, that's in every consensus. There is no consensus for the number two. It's one of the two of them. They're not picking a quarterback.
Okay.
And also Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland already sounds like a horrible decision for both ends.
Well, what do you do in Cleveland? You need a quarterback. Is that Jackson Dart? Do you trade back into the second half of the first round?
Or you try to trade for somebody and go another year and then figure out after that? It's just like there's no real value at this level to go and get Shedeur Sanders because like he just isn't that good, and that's what everybody's saying. And then also he's got the personality of a number 1 overall pick with the talent of like a 10th overall. So
or the talent of a late first round draft pick.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. It's like, why would you want to, you get all of that smoke and you don't get any of the performance for it? That just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't think we're going to see 2 back-to-back. I just don't see that happening. I mean, crazier shit's happen. Maybe somebody falls in love with them, but I still think maybe it's a smoke screen to have a team try and trade up, but there is actually a lot of noise coming out of the Browns camp right now about Travis Hunter at that pick at 2.
Wouldn't be surprised if it happens.
Because he's arguably the best athlete in this entire class. Heisman winner.
I don't even know if it's an argument. I think he's the best player. Just depends on where you want to play him. That's on the board.
That's the way I look at it. I could see your point, though, of Abdul Carter. It definitely makes sense, but this has just kind of been sticking with me, and I've been vacillating back and forth after we said this is what we were doing today. I've done some homework. I'm thinking Hunter. Game time decision. Let's go.
Yep. The Giants. Play it again, Vince. Here we go.
Who do you got?
Travis Hunter.
Okay, so you got Travis going at 3 now.
Yeah, for sure.
See, this is where I think the turntables could turn. This is where I see Abdul Carter, or not Abdul Carter. Yeah, is it Abdul Carter?
Yeah, the Pennsy guy.
Abdul Carter. Yeah. This is where I think Abdul Carter potentially lands.
Okay, so we flip-flop.
I think we flip-flop here. In my eyes, the way I'm viewing this at this moment in time is that you have Brian Burns on that defense in New York. Mm-hmm. You have a team. Brian Daboll needs to kind of win now. You got Kayvon Thibodeau, Burns, Abdul Carter. You have a defense that regardless if Russell sucks or not, they're going to keep him on the field.
How about Sexy Dexy?
Sexy Dexy?
Dexter Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence in the middle. You look at that as well. There is an argument here that Abdul Carter's at 3 to the Giants, goes to New York. helps that defense fill out. You're sending a bunch of noise all the time.
Yeah.
So there is some argument here. Now, remember, Abdul Carter, there's an issue with one of his ankles with like a bone spur or something.
Yeah, but he played on it.
People are saying that this could be a potential negative. Todd.
No shot.
Abdul
he played on it
Carter.
in the playoffs. He's fine.
Well,
give him an off season.
You know how
you're investing in him for years.
Okay.
Can't get
so
mad
our
about
first
that
three picks, kind of to course, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter for Mike, Abdul Carter for Vince, and we flip-flop 2 to 3 there for the Giants and Browns. All right, next pick up on the board.
Patriots. Yeah. This seems to be a consensus pick. I don't know if you agree or not, but it's Will Campbell, right?
I'm going to say Will Campbell.
It's got to be, right?
You got to protect your
Some
young
people said Mason
mid.
Graham, but at 4, it's got to be Will Campbell.
Well, you also have a young quarterback that needs some offensive line help, and Mike Vrabel's Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Now, granted, on a lot of people's boards, he's not even the top 10 ranked.
Yeah, but he's a tackle.
I get it, but I'm just saying, Will Howard, I mean, it just, a lot of people are saying that he's not exactly the best available.
For offensive tackle, he will be, though.
I'm just saying across the board. Like, if you look at ESPN's best available overall, Will Campbell comes in at 19th.
Damn.
They have
their big board?
Banks. Yeah. They have Calvin Banks. Okay. Texas offensive tackle. And Armand Membu, Missouri offensive tackle, being ahead of Will Campbell.
ESPN does?
Best available. Yes.
Who does that? Mel Kiper?
I don't know who writes this one up.
He's a ding dong, so that doesn't surprise me. The Ringer has him at 7.
I think it's Will Campbell just simply based off of need here.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
By the way, we're not talking trades in this draft. We're just going based off the board. Now, very well might be a position.
Could
be a trade.
Even if we do, like, at least we'll put the player at the number rather than the team. So really 4 is going to be Will Campbell is the idea for that.
I think Will Campbell at 4.
I think it's pretty easy with that too.
Yeah, right. M&V agree with the production. Okay.
Number 5,
the Jags. The youngest general manager in NFL history selects Vince?
Mason Graham. I think he goes here. Their defense sucks. Their defense sucks.
I feel like it's gonna be Mason Graham.
Has to be.
I feel like granted he only had 3.5 sacks at Michigan last year, but his QB hurries were through the roof. He's a true disruptor in the middle. Former wrestler. I love that. I'm hoping he falls in draft boards, but I just don't see it happening. Mason Graham to the Jags.
Leaving us now at 6 with the Raiders.
The Raiders. Pete Carroll, oldest head coach in history.
From the youngest to the oldest. This one I think is going to get traded. I've heard a lot of Raiders trade their pick to the Saints. They switch 6 to 9 because they think someone else is going to move up and try to get Shedeur Sanders. I think he goes here.
You think Shedeur goes at 6?
Do I think he should? No. Do I think he does? Yeah, I do.
I think Pete Carroll's going to Pete Carroll.
I think he's going to trade it to the Saints.
I think Pete Carroll's going to Pete Carroll.
Okay. What is that?
I could see a world where you're right. Shedeur Sanders is there. People are trying to claw up to grab him. The Saints are still there at 9. I don't think they're going to have to move off of that to get a potential quarterback where, Shedeur is there. I don't see people clamoring up the draft board to try and get him.
Yeah.
I don't see that being a thing because if you look at the teams with the biggest quarterback needs, they're all in the top 10.
Yeah. Titans, Browns.
Teams
Giants
really beyond 10 do not have a quarterback need.
Yeah. Raiders, Saints. Yeah.
You look at the board. I mean, the Broncos are after that. You look at the Vikings. They have their potential succession plan after Sam Darnold. I'm It's Ashton Genty.
I feel like you could be right there too. 6 though?
I feel like Ashton Genty. Or a dark horse, Will Johnson, could be a pick. That would be the most Pete Carroll thing ever. Cornerback, Michigan, who's just the Richard Sherman subtype.
Yeah, 100%. So
you're probably the safest pick.
That's your pick,
draft. I'm taking Genty. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see him a lot on 5 and 6. I'm like, why? Why would you do that?
It's true.
Yeah. Okay. 7, Jets.
Sound it.
Oh.
Vince, where do you have the Jets picking?
This one, they have to go offensive line, right?
Maybe, maybe not. Mekhi Becton was supposed to be him, but he wasn't.
He worked out elsewhere, but not there. This is where I put the Missouri guy, Membu.
You think Membu?
OT. Goes to the Jets.
I feel like you have Aaron Glenn there, who's a defensive-minded head coach. I feel like at this pick, they're going to go defense. And I don't think this Membu kid is everybody he's flown up draft boards because he tested so well at the combine. I think this is going defense.
Okay.
Well, give me Michael Williams, edge rusher, Georgia.
I don't even know how to spell that properly. It's kind of right. Whatever. Okay. I like that. He's a beast.
I like that pick.
We're used to seeing
either
Georgia
that,
guys.
Or I could either see that or Jalen Walker.
I was going to say
see those two guys going.
He's like a linebacker edge guy. Yeah.
Just these edge rushers out of Georgia. They're usually like on paper. Jalen Walker is a specimen. He's had some injury issues, but I could see one of those two edge rushers from Georgia going because just based off of sheer talent and what they're trying to do. I could see Aaron Glenn as a defensive-minded head coach looking at that and saying, all right, either that or to your earlier point, this could be a trade option for the Jets who know they have so many needs. And they have given up draft picks with the Aaron Rodgers thing. So you look at it, you may try and recoup some of that and get more draft capital.
Give Justin a lineman.
Justin is a one-trick pony. He's first responding. Not going to work. He got paid a bag. This is probably his last NFL contract.
I agree. At least as a starter, for sure. Starter money.
He is not. He is not it.
All right, a team with a quarterback in the Panthers. Who do you got?
Vince?
You make the pick here.
I'm flip flop. I think Armand Membu
goes here.
Goes to the Panthers. They structure their line to say we're going to protect the shit out of our young quarterback and Bryce. He had a great end of last year. I'm going to say Membu goes here.
Is he too short to see over Membu? Just physically?
No, I don't think that's going to be an issue, but you need to shore up an offensive line there. And granted, they spent a lot of money, but I could see this being a thing on a separate conversation. You could see this wide receiver, Tatoria McMillan.
Yeah, a lot of people like him. Is he Arizona?
He went to U of A. I could see him potentially being a huge option because if you look at it, I mean, granted they have Xavier Legette, but imagine if you had two number ones for Bryce to throw the football to.
Yeah, he's out there eating raccoons and Bryce Young's throwing balls.
Right. So you look at this McMillan kid, he could be an option. Either that or he just falls.
For my pick, do you remember a man named Brian Burns?
Yes, I do.
They wanted to extend him and they didn't, and they traded him to the Giants. And now they have a hole at linebacker. And who better to fill that hole than Jalen Walker? That's who I'm picking.
You're saying Jalen Walker. Okay, that's a safe option.
They're fixing that hole.
I like it, but he's more of an edge rusher than he is anything. But then again,
they're listing him as a linebacker. They're listing him as a linebacker because he's not as big either.
Linebacker is such a diverse topic today.
He'll play a Khalil Mack archetype, I believe.
All right.
It depends on what type of defense
I like where your head's at. All right, Saints at 9. You're thinking they trade up?
I'm thinking they trade up and the Raiders go back. It depends on what ends up happening. Where did I put that sound?
Vince at 9.
I think this is where the receiver goes.
You think so you think the Raiders are going to go trade back to get a receiver?
The Raiders don't have receivers or quarterbacks.
Well, this is the problem when you predict trades. You just don't know who's going to be there. So who's the pick at 9?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not going to pick a quarterback here. I think they go receiver, or they go with your Ashton Genty play for them that you took at 6. I'm going to take McMillan out of Arizona.
Okay. I'm taking Shedeur Sanders here. I think Shedeur Sanders is there.
I think that's safe. I mean, I have them taking him technically.
We're technically flip-flopping picks a lot here, but yeah.
Yeah. I could see him. Yeah, I could see him in a Saints uniform. I mean, when you play Madden, they literally draft Shedeur Sanders too. The Saints every single time. So
there you have it. Vince has put us through the Madden profile a couple times.
Always. You got to run.
And now our beloved. The Bears.
I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know, dude. It's so difficult.
You know who you got to take here?
Who?
I'm going to say it. Know who you need to take at this pick?
You're going to say Tyler Warren?
No. Give me Mike Green out of Marshall.
Oh, big boy. Yes.
Glass eater. May had some off the field issues, but I love this guy. He reminds me so much of Terrell Suggs coming out of ASU back in the early 2000s. What was it, 99 or 2000 draft? You look at that. Man, he is just nasty. And he's the type of guy on a defense right now that needs.
Do you think that's a reach?
It's a reach, but I want a bad motherfucker. That's what
good. I want. I mean, he is fucking
angry.
Good.
He is angry. He plays angry, and I think that's exactly what the Bears need. So give Mike Green, and I just like his name is Mike Green.
You have Michael Williams gone already.
I do.
You had no one taking Jalen Walker, and you're going to go Mike Green over Jalen Walker then probably, or Shamar Stewart.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean it's like we're in a point where like we don't need a corner. At least in the first round.
Always use a corner. Will Johnson here. If the Bears select Will Johnson here, I'm not upset.
I'm not either, but like there's definitely not a position in need right now.
It is not
anything else. But we also are in a situation where we don't need as much either. I have a feeling they are going to trade this pick to like 18.
I would love that.
Or something.
I would love that.
I have a feeling they're going to do that to recoup some picks. But if I had to have them taking it, what's his name again? It's the A&M guy. It's the big freaking dude from A&M.
You really like
Shamar Stewart. He's good.
You like Shamar Stewart.
He's good. I don't think he's great. I just think like at 10, it kind of tracks for me as far as the defender goes. But again, I don't think they keep it. I don't think they keep the pick.
This is where I believe when I look at this that I don't see why you take this Shamar Stewart who had a total of 2 sacks in 4 years.
Bull rusher. Big fucking boy.
But Mike Green's nastier than him.
Yeah.
And Mike Green at the Senior Bowl was just eating people alive. Your favorite here, Armand Membu, who everybody's losing their minds about. Well, a lot of people's favorite.
He's not my favorite. I'm just saying people are rating him high.
Armand Membu got destroyed by Mike Green at the Senior Bowl. Go look at the film. Oh, yeah. It's out there. You can see it in one-on-ones. Mike Green's a bad dude.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. Now, to your point, if you could trade back to 15, somebody wants to play around, play a little ball, I'm down. I'm down to clown.
Well, because this could also easily be like a Genty pick if he's not picked in the first 10. And they're like,
if Genty falls to 10, for whatever reason, if Genty falls to 10 and Dallas is enamored with him, do you move back to 12?
Yeah.
See what you could do. Either that, or Genty recently came out and said that the Broncos love him. Could the Broncos maybe team to be a dancing partner?
I've seen that one as a trade up option too. I could just as easily see Ryan Poles being like, fucking pull the trigger on Genty too. So we'll see.
God, I hope not.
I could see it. Again, I don't want it to happen, but I could see it.
I hope not.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue. We're going to look at the Bears' second round draft picks, as we should, because they pick at 39 and 41 and then 72.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts for that first pick in the second round?
This is where it opens up a little bit. I would like them not to take a running back in the first round. I would like to see them take a running back in the second round from one of these two picks. Because we have 2 picks within 3. Which one is the question? I like TreVeyon Henderson. A lot of people don't. He's probably my second favorite. He might get picked by they're saying Kansas City could take him at 31. So if he's not on the board and Ashton Genty's already gone, I don't know. One of the Ohio State guys, maybe. What are your thoughts?
You don't think Omarion Hampton's still going to be there in the first pick in the second round?
I think he could, yeah. I'm just saying.
If he's there, I think he's the best running back minus Genty.
Yeah.
Some could say he might be better.
Some people just TreVeyon Henderson's so fast. He's so good.
So is Quinshon Judkins. You look at all these guys.
Judkins is the man. He is the man. He ran all
I would be
Notre Dame.
happy with that or Caleb. What's Caleb Johnson out of Iowa?
It
just depends.
He's a ground.
Who is there? One of these picks in the second round. I want that, and then I want a safety.
You know who I want? I want a big boy. I want a guy that's used to playing in the Midwest. Right. I want a guy that knows what he's doing. A smart man at a prestigious university such as Notre Dame. I want Xavier Watts.
You want Xavier Watts?
Yeah.
Okay. I would love to see either Xavier Watts or Nick Imanura out of Texas A&M or South Carolina. Absolute dog.
Same colors.
If the Bears could go second round, either first or second pick in the second round, so out of their 2, so 39 and 41 back-to-back, you go either Omarion Hampton, Quinshon Judkins, any of the Ohio State guys, and then 2 of those safeties. So to your point, Xavier Watts or the kid out of South Carolina.
Yeah.
I feel like in those 2 picks, if you get that done, you almost won the draft.
I agree, or at least it make fans happy to a level.
Yeah, I would have the tinglies. I would enjoy that greatly.
All right. Third round, 72. I have one specific idea for this, but do you have anything of idea, or where do you want him to go with it?
At this stage of the game, I feel like if Will Campbell doesn't fall to you, I feel like this is where you take an offensive lineman. So whoever's high on your board, a lot of people are talking about this kid's name who I cannot pronounce out of Minnesota. He's an absolute monster of a right tackle. And it's one of those things where I look at it like, well, you don't necessarily need a right tackle, but maybe you could move a guy like that. It could potentially be an option.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, if the Bears do move back and they get to 18, I think they end up taking an offensive lineman of some ilk at that point.
What, Calvin Banks out of Texas or somebody along
somewhere
those lines?
somewhere in the early second half of the first round, which leaves availability for different players throughout the rest of the draft. And one guy that used to have real high draft prospect, and it's fallen in years, but I still think is a very good player. And it hurts me to say this because I hate the university that he plays at, but I think Jack Sawyer is a TJ Watt type. I think he's really fucking good. And I don't think people give him enough credit anymore just because everybody on that defense was nails.
If you would like to see defense. You want a lot of defense.
Beast them up, dude. Fine with me. Ideally, I'd like to see the Bears trade back, pick some offensive linemen up, and then go D the rest of the draft. That would be my preferred way.
I kind of want to balance. I definitely feel like you need a running back at some point. You need a yank to a yank. I don't think DeAndre Swift, who's been publicly called out by Ben Johnson, is in the plans long term here.
You go offensive tackle, running back, safety, edge rusher, I'm happy.
Or some variation, because we basically have that flip-flopped. I went edge rusher, running back, then safety, and then edge, and then an offensive lineman. So I look at this whole situation as deadly.
Yeah,
we're gonna be together for this, Vince. I'm jacked. I'm truly jacked.
I am too. I think it's going to be hopefully exciting. Hopefully we know all the names. I think we will. As long as they don't draft somebody that we literally haven't heard of. And we were looking at drafts so much, and we're like, Darnell Wright? Like, where the fuck did he come from?
Darnell Wright. That's what I'm saying. If Mike Green is the reach, he's the only reach I'm excited for.
Yeah. But again, Dennis Allen, Jack Sawyer makes a hell of a lot of sense to me. I would not be against that.
It's also the Bears. And we have to remember the Bears.
Well, there's a lot of good value for punters in this draft. So I think if you wait until at least the 3rd or 4th round, we can draft one.
All right. On that note, it's been a lot of fun. If the Bears draft another special teams player like a long snapper, punter, or a kicker before
if they draft
the
a
6th
long
round,
snapper,
I will lose my mind. Okay?
Is there like an older kick return guy in this draft somewhere we can go get?
Yeah, maybe that would be fantastic. Right? I mean, hey, he definitely was worth our time. Right?
Does he own ferrets?
I choose to forget his name. What was his name one more time for all of us?
Why did I forget it too?
You don't remember that?
I completely got it out of my head. Why can't I? I'm gonna hate
Velus Jones. There you go.
27-year-old kick returner.
A 27-year-old kick returner out of Tennessee. He was really something, I tell you.
Yeah.
Drafted him and then had an opportunity to trade him for a 5th round draft pick. That was on Hard Knocks. We all saw it. And no.
Nah, fuck it. Get rid of him.
No, fuck that. Fuck that.
Stupid.
No, not doing it. Not
stupid.
Doing it. No, I mean, if he pops off, I mean, he could really be it. Problem
That's
is, it's like that scene from Moneyball where it's like, Billy, this is Velus Jones. He's incredibly fast. His only problem is he can't catch a football.
He can't hold on to the ball. Yeah. He owns ferrets.
He can't catch a football. He owns ferrets, right? So you look at this draft. I'm excited. It was a wonderful episode. Vince, we're jacked to have you here.
Oh,
Get here soon.
Give me an Arizona.
Tell the pilot to fly safe. Get out to the desert.
Done.
We got a lot of content coming for you. We got potential things that go on your head coming your way. So if you like things that sit upon your head, you might be interested in this. So pay attention for that. As always, we appreciate you calling in. If you haven't yet, air it out 312-725-2107. And as always, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Talking Tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, you know. Jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah, you know.